everybody, welcome to my channel, and my name is Larry, and I'd like to tell you about my 2 trips to Cuba in 2017. All right. For starters, I was working in Saudi Arabia at the time, and during the Ramadan vacation, I left the country in search of an adventure. I went to Cuba, where I stayed for 4 days, and over that time, I wanted to take advantage of, Cuba being open to American citizens. So I drank plenty of rum while I was in Cuba, and I bought cigars. Now, the Cubans hustled me out of my money. I spent about $200, maybe $250 for cigars that I thought were authentic, but I didn't know, of course, because I'm not the cigar connoisseur. I was ignorant, and I trusted the Cuban people. The Cuban guy said, "Hey, come to my home. I'm gonna sell you Cuban cigars. I work at the factories, and our government allows us to take, 7 cigars or something, per day, or I don't know what they said. Was it 1 cigar? Was it 7 cigars per month? I don't know." But they said that the Cuban government allows them to take a small number of cigars, and at the end of the month, they can sell the cigars to tourists to benefit the Cuban people. So they said, "Come to my home. I have the cigars. I work in the factories. You can buy them from me. Help support me and my family." So I fell for their trick, hook, line, and sinker. One guy got me for $200 and some. I bought 2 boxes of cigars, which I thought were authentic, which I thought were real, but because I was ignorant, I couldn't tell the difference. They look so real. There are some characteristics that you can point out once you've learned how to detect them, but I didn't know. 2 boxes, I had 60 cigars, and when I left Cuba the first time, those cigars I intended to give those cigars to my dad as gifts. Well, I left Cuba. I gave the cigars to my dad as a gift. I flew back to Saudi Arabia. While in Saudi Arabia, I started watching videos about cigars, Cuban cigars in particular, and then that's when I learned how to detect, counterfeit cigars. So I called my dad and I told him, "Look, forget about those cigars, throw them away, get rid of them, don't smoke them. Those are counterfeit." Okay, for those of you watching, what is a counterfeit cigar? Let me explain. There are 2 details that are the pure reasons why you don't want counterfeit cigars. Number 1, they could be made from the leftover tobacco leaves that are basically brushed off and left on the floor, the scraps. It's not the best part of the tobacco leaf. If that's used, you're basically smoking trash. Okay, it's still the tobacco that's used in the making of better cigars, but it's not the best leaf, not the best part of the leaf. So that's one reason why you don't want, a counterfeit cigar. The other characteristic is some of the cigars are made with banana leaves that are not even, pure tobacco leaves. And if you're trying to smoke tobacco, you don't want anything but, a tobacco leaf. So banana leaf isn't going to do. So those are 2 of the reasons why, or 2 of the characteristics between that differentiate the counterfeit tobacco or the counterfeit cigars from the real cigars. Oh, there's one other detail. The Cuban government and the Cuban companies, the Cuban government only sells the certified or the real cigars. The cigars that are fake have a ring and it has a hologram, and they're very secure. There are security measures that the government and the company makes or takes in order to distinguish, a real cigar from a fake. And if you don't see those, if you don't see a hologram, if you don't see, well, it's the hologram really. It's really the hologram on the ring, on the label, that really differentiates it. Anyhow, the cigars I bought didn't have any of that. Told my dad, get rid of them. I flew back to Saudi Arabia. I watched those YouTube videos and I said, I got to go back to Saudi Arabia. I've got to go back to Cuba. So I left Saudi Arabia a second time in August. All right, let's recap. The first time I went to Cuba was in June during Ramadan. And then the next time I flew from Saudi Arabia back to Cuba, it was in August. It was an Eid. It was an Eid celebration. And I wanted to get out of the country and travel. All right, so I got back to Cuba, and the first trip to Cuba, I stayed there for 4 days. The second trip, I stayed there for 10 days. All right, so I really wanted to get pure cigars or real cigars, so I didn't go back to any Cuban homes and purchase cigars there. That was out of the question. But there were plenty of Cubans who were running the same scam. And they were calling me to their homes. Hey, I have cigars. My friend, come to me. And because I was aware, I would go to them. I would listen. I would go into their homes, listen to them. I would look at their cigars and inspect them. I inspected the heck out of them. And I said, man, these really look authentic. And they did. But because I knew how to detect them or how to, distinguish between a real and a fake cigar, I definitely didn't buy those cigars, but they really look authentic. But I knew how to detect them and I knew what to look for. So they didn't get me. And I asked a lot of questions. And those guys were just like, okay, man, okay, I give up. You're too good. You're a smart guy. They didn't get me the second time. I bought all of my cigars on the second trip. I bought all of my cigars at government or official businesses all throughout old Havana. So the first time I paid $200 some and I had 2 boxes worth of cigars, about 60 cigars for $200 some. The second time I went to Cuba, I spent around $200 and I came back with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cigars. That's all I bought. The second time I was there, I only came back with 8 cigars for the same price. All right? So there you have it. One thing happened also while I was in Cuba. I was reading this book. You can see Che Guevara looking at us right now. I bought this book while I was in Cuba. This is the book, The Motorcycle Diaries by Ernesto Che Guevara de la Serna. All right? All right, I bought this book. And my number's 10-9, all right, or 109. That those are my numbers. And I was in Cuba and I was reading this book, and within the first few pages, I learned that Che Guevara died on that day, 10-9, October 9th. So when I was in Cuba, I was like, whoa, maybe I'm supposed to be here. Maybe I was supposed to be here to learn this fact. This bit of this nugget of information, because it made my trip to Cuba seem, like it was destined. It was my destiny somehow to go to Cuba and to discover this. All right, that's my story about Cuba. My 2 trips to Cuba in 2017. Yeah. Peace.